welcome to Wildly Curious, a podcast that tells you everything you need to know about nature and probably more than you wanted to know. I'm Laura.
And I'm Katy, and this is week 5 of Cosmic Critters, of things that humans have launched into space. So we have this one, and then we have one more Cosmic Critters of the mini-series for the season. So today we've talked about, okay, hold on, let me see if I can do this, hold on. We talked about a dog, a cat, so Laika the dog, Felicity the cat. Then we went to frogs, Pierre and Tinom, and then we went last week to Albert 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so then this week, we're going to talk about garden spiders, Anita and Arabella.
I was just going to say, they'd better have freaking names. Good.
Yep, Anita and Arabella.
Arabella is a perfect name for a spider.
It is. So, again, like everything else that we've launched into space, scientists started to be like, well, like, what else? How else would this thing react? How else would this thing react? So because of all of this curiosity behind weightlessness, litness, different new environment, everything works differently. They knew that, but they didn't know, like, how things would react. So that also included the curiosity behind the behavior of life forms from frogs to dogs, like we talked about. And in 1973, we launched 2 garden spiders, Anita and Arabella.
It was also the 70s, man. This is the frogs and the spiders in the 70s. Not surprised.
Right. So these 2 spiders hitched a ride to orbit aboard Skylab 3 for science purposes. Their mission was to help scientists answer a simple but curiosity question: can spiders spin webs in space? Okay. Which again is, I get everything else that we've launched into space where it's let's study the ear effect, the respiratory, let's study this. I feel like at this point they were just like, it was somebody just trying to get grant money.
Or not even just,
you know what I mean?
They just wanted to know. Like, this was not for anything other than, we just want to know.
I wonder.
Yeah,
I wonder. It's 1973, we've already been on the moon. They're like, they probably hit a low.
Or like, somebody's high thinking about what could be, you know.
Yeah, like on a really bad trip.
Spiders?
Do you think yeah. At first glance, spiders might seem like an odd choice for a space mission, but for the most part, they were pretty good for studying the effects of microgravity on instinctual behaviors.
Yeah, I think this would be fascinating to watch.
It would be.
They'd be floating around. How do you make something when it's hard to anchor yourself?
Right? So web spinning is an intricate and highly precise task. It's not just haphazard. I mean, spiders do not haphazardly spin a web
especially with garden spiders, which are a type of like orb weaver, which makes a very specific pattern.
Yes, it's very, very intricate. It also requires great coordination, timing, and the use of gravity for orientation so they could figure out where they are and everything.
My gosh, yeah.
So garden spiders, like Anita and Arabella, were chosen for the experiment because, like Laura said, their web spinning is very well documented on Earth. It is intricate, so it's not just like, I don't know.
It's the spider web that you picture in your head, right? Like it makes the circle with the circle, the circle, the circle, the circle, the circle. Like there are some spiders that build, the funnels, or just like a tangle web where it's just a bunch of
like
things.
Erratic ones. Yeah,
this is like classic spider.
Classic spider web, yeah. So before the cosmic adventure, Anita and Arabella were raised in a controlled environment to ensure that they were healthy and active web spinners. Their travel accommodations, a specialized enclosure aboard Skylab, equipped with cameras, a light source, and tons of flies, of course.
Dude, so far, these ones are like living the life.
Right?
They have literally been raised to be at the height of spider health, and then they're traveling in a special case with all the food they want. The poor frogs who were launched like 2 years before are probably like, WTF?
Right? Yeah, the nerves severed and everything. Yeah. Like, these guys get the life. So their space habitat ensured that they had literally everything needed to attempt web spinning in zero gravity. So Anita and Arabella were launched into space aboard Skylab 3 on July 28, 1973, alongside astronauts Alan Bean, Jack Luzma, and Owen Garriott. The spiders quickly became beloved members of the crew, earning the astronauts' curiosity and respect. Again, because probably nobody wanted to touch them. So when the experiments began, the results were fairly messy. So without gravity, Anita and Arabella struggled to orient themselves, and their first attempts at spinning webs were chaotic and irregular, which again, like we said, is not like this species of spider at all. So on Earth, gravity helps spiders determine where to anchor their silk and how to space their threads. In space, those cues are missing, leaving the spiders to figure things out through trial and error.
Well, plus, like, I'm sure they're jumping. They need gravity to go to the next place. Like, they had to figure out they needed to, like, push themselves off. Yeah. Like,
Yes, there was a lot that they need to figure out. But soon after, Anita and Arabella did begin to adapt. By the second day, they were spinning. Yeah, they were spinning more symmetrical webs, proving that spiders could adjust to microgravity.
Yeah, within 24 hours.
Yep. So their ability to compensate showed an incredible level of behavioral plasticity, which is basically an innate ability to adapt to very unfamiliar environments. The webs themselves were slightly different than those spun on Earth. In microgravity, the silk was thinner and more tightly woven, likely due to the changes in how the spiders moved and managed tension in zero gravity. Because again, it's the tension of the silks itself ended up being very different too. So these observations gave scientists new insights into the role of gravity in animal behavior and motor coordination. As groundbreaking as the experiment was, it wasn't without its challenges. Both spiders faced the stresses of space travel, and despite the care of the astronauts, they didn't live again to see Earth. However, their contributions were kind of invaluable, and the data collected from their webs and behavior provided a unique perspective on how organisms adapt to life beyond Earth. So the Anita and Arabella experiments wasn't just about spider spinning webs. It symbolized a much bigger effort to understand the resilience of life in space and just facing unknowns as far as instincts and how animals and people, maybe people, could later on adapt. So their experiment also paved the way for future studies on how microgravity affects other species and systems from plants to humans, and it highlighted the importance of testing a wide variety of life forms in space to fully understand the challenges of long-term space exploration.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
I mean,
yeah, so Anita and Arabella.
I would just love to watch them. And again,
and I think that was for the scientist part of it. It was just fun for them.
Enrichment. I'm just going to go watch the spiders,
Yeah, might as well. All right, guys, so we have another full-length episode next week, and then the week after that, we have one more Cosmic Critters. So, yeah, make sure you guys go check us out on YouTube and support us on Patreon so we can keep bringing you this content. And until next week, we will see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.